Did Trump just pull off the ultimate comeback? But God. Let's talk about it.
President of the United States.
The U.S. President is Donald Trump.
That clip doesn't get tired for me. Welcome back to Charisma Daily. Today is the first day after, well, the next day after the election. We all know that Trump has won the 2024 elections for president of the United States. And I'm telling you, it is an exciting moment. It was a dropping moment, sort of like edge of the seat moment, as I live streamed the Patrick Bet David live event last night covering the election. And I'm telling you, from the get-go, Trump was in the win all the way to the end. And I was wondering, okay, is this going to change at the last minute? Is it going to change today? But it has been confirmed that Donald Trump is the elected president of the United States for 2024. So let's jump right in to do a brief recap of what happened last night.
Here is the latest on the electoral vote tally.
The blue wall seems to be crumbling for the Democrats. Mr. Trump winning Pennsylvania and also leading here in Michigan and Wisconsin. The former president taking several states he lost 4 years ago and blowing out the vice president in parts of the country that were projected to be a toss-up. He will become the first president to win 2 terms non-consecutively since Grover Cleveland more than 130 years ago. As for the popular vote, it is pretty close. Trump winning that right now. A lot of votes, though, still being counted. The former president didn't win the overall vote count in 2016 or 2020. A Republican has only won the popular vote once in the previous 8 elections. That was George W. Bush, that is, in 2004.
And there you have it, how Trump won the presidency last night. But today, as we expected, the Dems are sore losers. Speaking specifically about The View, what Whoopi Goldberg had to say. Take a listen.
Look, we said to people, vote. We didn't tell people who to vote for.
Right.
We just said go out.
Well,
yes, but I did not.
yeah, I did.
Because I wanted to make sure people exercise that right. Too many people that I know died trying to vote.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So we start with that. And think about this. She did this in 2 months.
Yeah, no.
She did this in 2 months.
She left it all on the field.
Yes,
she
look,
did.
she, you know, everybody can always say, oh, she should have done this, she should have done this, She did what she did. She was everywhere. She talked to everybody. And people didn't come out. I don't know why. And it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name. That's not going to change. Yeah.
I have faith that some good, decent people are going to work for him. I've heard from some folks today. I think there's some reasons to be hopeful that people who believe in public service in the country are going to go in.
The thing that I wanted to finish up with is it's hard for some of us to hear that rhetoric after 50 years, you know, after 70 years, to hear that rhetoric coming back, to hear things that came out of people's mouths that we all decided as a public group we weren't going to talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
So for me, when I hear that, I feel okay when I'm pissed at somebody who's talking down to somebody else. I'm all right with that. Mm-hmm. What I'm not all right with is trying to further wreck the country. So that's why everything that everyone is saying at the table really comes down to, listen, we're still here. People, when I got out of the car today, because nobody will let me drive, I saw mailmen, people with their kids. I saw people walking around, looking, you know, drinking what is the coffee stuff from Starbucks. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so I never remember. But I saw people living their lives, and that's what we have to do. And when things get to be so bright that we see them, we got to call them out.
Yes.
Please, Whoopi, you and your panel of females are the biggest hypocrites ever. What do you mean? You didn't tell people how to vote? Really? You weren't spewing your rhetoric? Really? You weren't calling Trump names? Nazi, he's this, he's a threat to democracy, he's all the things, he's going to take away all women's reproductive rights. Really? But now you were crying wolf that the world was going to come to an end if Trump was elected. And yet today you're saying you see people out living life just as normal. The hypocrisy is real. But the view keeps on giving because that was Whoopi. Now we have Sunny Hussein. Let's hear what she had to say.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
Of course, it's all about racism. It is the fact that she was a woman and she was a Black Indian woman. This is why she lost the election? Really? First of all, it had nothing to do with gender, okay? Because Kamala ran a sucky campaign for 2 months. For the beginning, she didn't want to give interviews. Then no one understood what she stood for. What is the policy that she was running on? Tell me, all you Dems out there, what policies were she running on? All I kept hearing is like, oh, we got to protect women's reproductive rights, the right to kill your unborn child. And this is all that they wanted to protect. The right for a woman to use abortions, or having an abortion as contraceptive. Well, there's more than one way that you can stop from being pregnant. Keep your legs closed, abstain from sex, or use contraceptive. Simple. Don't use abortion as a way to stop getting pregnant or get rid of an unborn child. So stop with your thing about racism. Oh, like the view is just so ridiculous. But I'm not done yet. Now we have the other one. I'll let you listen to her.
Very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that to me brought me consolation and inspiration this morning because I have no regrets. Yep. I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president. History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country, and I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today. Today we can be sad. Tomorrow we stand up and we continue. We have every right as Americans, because we love this country, because this is the most exceptional country in the world, we have the right and the duty to speak up and denounce abuses of power, to be vigilant. And so I invite all Americans to do it. But we are doing what they didn't do. We are recognizing they won. Yep. Now let's see what happens.
Really? To denounce abuse of power? When Kamala Harris was not elected, she didn't even win a primary. It didn't even get to there. She was installed. She was selected when they orchestrated a coup on Joe Biden. And you're talking about abuse of power? What? it just frustrates me when I hear these Dems that are sit in a place of influence and they speak to people and brainwash them with the stupidness, the ignorance, talking about abuse of power when there was no democracy, there was nothing democratic about this campaign. How they kicked Joe Biden to the curb, installed her, and if we were Hillary Clinton was running, Hillary Clinton knows how to lead. She's not a favorite of mine, but she knows the stuff. She has experience. She's a leader, and she can get stuff done as a political leader. Okay, but when you put Kamala Harris, who knows nothing about running for presidency, leading people where she slept her way to the top, and she's an airhead. I'm sorry, but she is. She is just an airhead. So, you know what? I think you guys, you Dems, you dodged the bullet by her not winning this presidency. That's all I'm going to say about that. And in closing, I just love what Scott Jennings had to say to the panel at CNN last night. Listen,
this is a mandate. He's won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line, and we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
No more. Enough is enough. And he's right. He said it so eloquently. People said, enough is enough. All the things, treating you like you were dumb. Okay? That's how they treated you guys. Like you were dumb. I'm in Canada, so this is what I'm saying to you guys. Treated the American people like they're dumb and can't think for themselves. With Obama coming out and scolding black men. Really? Who the hell are you? Anyways, and at the end of Trump's acceptance speech, this is how they concluded the night. His team giving praise to God. Take a listen.
I
you have it. Trump's victory marks a pivotal moment, sparking conversations, debates, and some serious reflection on where America is heading. Thanks for joining me for this historic event. And last night, if you joined me live, thank you so much for keeping my company for 7 hours and 52 minutes, almost 8 hours, as we covered the election. So let's keep the conversation going. In the comments, I want to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe for more updates and reactions and commentary. Until next time, which will be shortly, I will be sharing Kamala's speech after she has lost. And I will see you soon in the next one. Take care and bye for now.